Hello there. Back to having beautiful weather on a Saturday again, so I am out here enjoying the trails with an optimistic outlook. I've come out today to the Dawson Forest WMA area doing the green and orange trails. I did this trail area for the first time and only time so far back in January, right after I got started with this little challenge. Figured it was time to get back out here and check it out again. Probably hear in the distance a lot of gunfire. I'm guessing there's a shooting range nearby, but no hunting in the particular area I'm at right now, so I feel pretty secure. Going by a lovely little lake here. It's a waterfowl refuge area, so very picturesque. But yeah, looking to get maybe somewhere around 10 or 11 miles today. See how things pan out. And you know, there was a few horse trailers in the parking lot, and one other gentleman and his dog getting started on the hiking trail right about the same time I was. So doesn't look like I'll be isolated out here today. We'll see what the trail holds. Well, most of the foliage that's going to fall has fallen, I think. What's green and left up in the canopy is mainly pine needles and such, but still getting that nice little ambiance of the dispersed leaf fluttering coming down from above as I gaze out upon the trail. I don't know if the camera's picking up any of that at all, but it's nice to see. Well, I'm getting close to the end of, well, I won't call it a spur trail, I'll call it the approach trail to the loop. And I'm just a little over 3 miles in, so that's why I'm not calling it a spur, because it's you know, probably constituting a good half the distance I'll be covering today, since, like I said, I was shooting for maybe around 11 miles, and you know, if I'm gonna have to repeat that 3 miles that I've already done, that's 6, that's over half. So it's been good so far. You know, can't complain about the conditions at all. It's perfect hiking conditions out here. The trail is dry for the most part. Got plenty of leaf cover, so that even in areas where it might be a little bit muddy, there's plenty of ground cover to, you know, kind of be a barrier and allow for good footing without, you know, sinking ankle deep into mud. But yeah, everything's been good so far. Sky is absolutely clear. Amazing contrast to last weekend when everything was overcast and a bit drizzly and colder. This is much more reminiscent of the earlier weeks of the fall, and I'm loving it. But I'm gonna keep crunching through these leaves, get started on the loop proper, and I think I might even have a waterfall view if I remember correctly, though what the flow is going to be like given the lack of rain recently, we'll see when we get there. Well, I made it to the aforementioned waterfall. It is still flowing, but definitely diminished from what I remember it being back in January. So you can see the water tumbling down over the rocks, narrowing to a single stream to the right side of the embankment here, and then pooling up and continuing on. Still pretty, still a nice sound of water flowing over the rocks, just a little diminished from its occasional glory. So the stream coming down the waterfall there feeds into a river just a little bit downstream, and come to find out that's the Etowah River, and I'm going to be on the trail running parallel to it for just a little bit here. It kind of shows that North Georgia hiking can be a small world sometimes, because the Etowah River feeds into Lake Altoona, around which I have hiked many miles this year, as I've done the Red Top Mountain and other hikes in the area. So, just shows how connected things can be, even when you think you're a bit of a distance apart. So nice to have that little connection, and follow along the river here for a little bit before turning away a little bit further down the trail. Well, I'm over halfway around the loop section of the trail, which means I'm over halfway through the hike itself. And despite my observations at the beginning of the hike, around the vehicles and individuals I saw when I started out. My supposition that it wasn't going to be quite as isolated of a hike has proved false. So I don't know if the horses were on this trail and simply going the same direction as I, and so they were out ahead and I've never caught up, obviously, and or if they were on a completely different trail that branched off. And same for the gentleman with his dog, who was only a short distance ahead of me. Obviously he either continued on the same track and has continued to outdistance me, or went onto a different trail system. He did not go counter the direction that I have, otherwise we would have met by now. So likely that I will be finishing the trail out without seeing anyone else. So we enjoy nature on our own, with you as my ever-present accompaniment, for which I'm grateful. Well, I have completed the loop and set off once again on the approach trail to get back to the trailhead in the parking lot. At time of getting back and completing the loop, I was sitting at 8.25 miles. So if the 3.5 that I measured coming out matches what I achieve heading back, should be looking at about an 11.75 mile day, which is good. We'll see if the consistency holds up. But yeah, we'll take a look and see how this trail appears from a different perspective on our way back, but not expecting to get a whole lot of filming on a repeated stretch. So we'll check in as is warranted, but for now I got 3.5 miles to get done. Well, you know, as I mentioned, not filming much on the way back over ground I've gone, but I always like to observe things where, you know, you may not notice stuff on the way out, but then, you know, you get the different perspective and things you might have missed stand out a little bit more noticeably. You know, the shadows are falling from different directions. You know, you're gazing at things from a different perspective, and it's always nice to see the differences in the trail from the different directions, and you never know what you might find. Maybe something like an indicator that you are nearing the end of your journey. "900 miles, 9/10 of the way, 10.5 months to get to this point, a month and a half to go to finish it out. The reality's starting to set in a little, that I can actually get this. You know, it's been a goal, it's been an objective, it's been something to strive for. Now it's something to achieve, because I know I can do it. I've set myself up in a position to be able to finish this out, even with the limited opportunities for hiking that remain during the year here. And I'm gonna get this done. And thank you for being here with me during every step I've taken. So I'm gonna finish this hike out, but yeah, 900 miles. Well, I'm getting close to the end, less than half mile to go. So So I'm going to go ahead and close things out. It's been a good day, good hike. The trails here, you know, I won't say they're the greatest trail system out there. You know, there's trails with more picturesque views, there's trails with more wildlife. But it's a nice trail. It's a nice trail system. You got a variety of different terrains and trail surfaces. So it's got a good distance to it. Lot to say for it. And so I'm glad I came out here once again. Very glad for my milestone achievement. One day closer to getting done. Thanks for coming along with me today. We will see you on the next trail.